So you're working with labyrinths now and teaching children meditation, and it's one of our favourite tools to use. It's so easy to help children feel a little bit more balanced and settled by using a labyrinth. And I just thought I'd share with you some of our experiences that we've had with children in care and also children with autism as well. One of the interesting ones was a mum had done the course and had taken her son to an outside labyrinth for him to walk. And she practiced with him at the same time. She'd obviously done it very diligently and peacefully and mindfully with us, and she was trying to do the same with him. And of course, he didn't walk slowly or appear to be mindful. He just raced through the whole labyrinth, got to the centre, and in her head she's thinking, oh, this is a waste of time. Why did I think this would work? But what was really interesting is that he then decided, this 10-year-old boy decided to walk out of the labyrinth backwards, which was the most natural way for him to slow himself down and walk more mindfully. And another problem that she had with her son, an issue that she had, was that he found it very difficult to self-regulate his behaviour. So she knew he would be finished before her, and usually he would just run. He'd be running off somewhere. She'd have to give chase. She'd have to abandon her labyrinth. But she found that after doing that walking labyrinth, and when he got back outside of the labyrinth again, he actually stopped and waited until she finished, which was like a full 5 or 10 minutes, which is extraordinary for this boy. So just amazing that they were able to do that together, and for her to see that it really could be quite effective. I've also used outside labyrinths, and also I have a wooden labyrinth as well, which is kind of grooved out of a piece of oak. And we found, kids in care that have stayed with us have really enjoyed using the labyrinth. And I don't kind of present it as some kind of, big meditation tool. I just call it a puzzle, really. And sometimes they just really sit and play with it, like tracing their fingers through it and then making their way to the centre and coming back out. Sometimes they set up a little bit of a competition with themselves. You'll find that with kids in care sometimes. And but I just let them do it anyway. It doesn't matter if they go fast or slow, because the whole point is that even if they're whatever they need from the labyrinth is what they get. So the connection in the left and right sides of the brain still is very effective for them if they're practicing it. And I usually have it just sitting around. I don't make a point of saying, let's practice. I've seen kids, we've done it before together, I've left it, and then they've wandered over, picked it up and started doing it in their own time. Just amazing to watch them do that whenever they've needed it. I've also used an outside one as well, locally to where I live, which is amazing because it's in the middle of a forest, so it's surrounded by trees. And we had a child staying with us who was having a really difficult time about something that had happened with them being in care, and had come back to the house very, very angry and upset. And I decided I was going to go and walk the labyrinth, and I invited them to come, and eventually they decided they would. And so we walked we drove to the labyrinth and we walked it. And, the difference in their whole demeanour, their whole energy, but, it was very challenging what they were facing. And usually, we used to say our house was a little bit like Beirut sometimes, everything was just, it was full on volcanic explosions. And it could have been exactly the same this time, but this particular experience of walking the labyrinth and coming back home, it was just so much calmer. It was just like they'd taken that problem, that feeling, whatever it was, into the labyrinth, and they'd walked it and left it in the centre, and then they'd come back out. So experiment and play with them, use the different types that are available to you, and I really just hope you enjoy using them, because they're a wonderful meditation tool to have in your toolkit.